Henry Smolinski, Aviation. On September 11, 1973, Henry Smolinski sat in a cockpit at Camarillo Airport in California. He was 40 years old. He was a trained engineer. He wanted to merge a car with an airplane. The vehicle was called the AVE Mazar. It consisted of a Ford Pinto welded to the airframe of a Cessna Skymaster. Smolinski and his pilot, Harold Blake, prepared for a test flight. The engine roared. The car accelerated down the runway. It lifted off successfully. They climbed to an altitude of 400 feet. The pilot attempted a banking turn to circle back. The stress on the airframe increased. Suddenly, a loud snap was heard from the ground. Structural failure occurred. The welds on the right wing strut detached. The wing folded upward. The car lost aerodynamics immediately. It rolled over and plummeted to the ground. The vehicle struck a parked pickup truck and a tree. The fuel tank ruptured on impact. A massive fireball consumed the wreckage. Rescue crews arrived, but the heat was too intense to approach. Both men were killed instantly. The cause of death was blunt force trauma and incineration. Thomas Midgley Jr., Chemistry. On November 2, 1944, Thomas Midgley lay in his bedroom in Worthington, Ohio. He was 55 years old. He was a renowned chemist known for developing leaded gasoline and freon. Earlier that year, he had contracted polio. The disease left him paralyzed from the waist down. He was bedridden. Midgley despised his lack of mobility. He used his engineering background to design a solution. He installed a complex system of ropes, pulleys, and bars over his bed. The device allowed him to lift himself up without assistance. It worked for months. On this morning, however, gravity worked against him. Midgley slid down in the bed while sleeping. The ropes became tangled. A cord wrapped around his neck. He woke up, but his paralyzed muscles could not leverage his weight. He tried to free himself, but his arms were too weak. The rope tightened against his windpipe. Oxygen was cut off from the brain. It was a silent struggle in an empty room. His wife found him later that morning. He was unresponsive. Thomas Midgley was pronounced dead at the scene. The official cause was accidental strangulation. William Bullock, Printing. On April 3, 1867, William Bullock was supervising an installation in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was 53 years old. He had invented the Webb rotary press. The machine revolutionized the newspaper industry. The press was massive, heavy, and fast. Bullock was adjusting the machine for the Philadelphia Public Ledger. A leather drive belt slipped off a pulley. The machine was still running. The gears were rotating at high speed. Bullock attempted to fix it quickly. He tried to kick the belt back onto the wheel with his foot. His leg slipped. The moving belt caught his foot. The force dragged him into the mechanism. The massive iron gears crushed his leg. The bone snapped audibly. The machine continued to grind tissue. Workers rushed to cut the power. They extracted him, but the limb was severely mangled. He was taken for medical treatment. Over the next few days, gangrene set in. The wound turned black. The infection spread rapidly through his bloodstream, causing high fever and delirium. On April 12, 1867, doctors attempted to amputate the leg to save his life. The procedure was too much for his body. William Bullock died on the operating table. The cause was heart failure induced by the trauma of the surgery. Stockton Rush, Deep Sea Exploration. On June 18, 2023, Stockton Rush boarded the Titan submersible in the North Atlantic Ocean. He was 61 years old. He had designed the vessel using an experimental carbon fiber hull. He repeatedly ignored safety warnings from industry experts regarding material fatigue. The goal was the Titanic wreckage at 12,500 feet. The sub began its descent into pitch-black darkness. Pressure increased by 1 atmosphere every 33 feet. Acoustic sensors likely detected crackling in the hull, but there was no time to react. At roughly 1 hour and 45 minutes into the dock, the hull integrity failed. The carbon fiber could not withstand the external pressure of 6,000 pounds per square inch. Catastrophic implosion occurred. The water rushed inward at 1,500 miles per hour. The air inside auto-ignited due to rapid compression. The temperature inside the vessel momentarily rivaled the surface of the sun. The entire event took less than 20 milliseconds. The human brain processes visual information in 13 milliseconds. Rush and his 4 passengers were disintegrated before their nerves could register pain. A debris field was later confirmed near the bow of the Titanic. Luis Jiménez sculpture. On June 13, 2006, Luis Jiménez was working in his studio in Hondo, New Mexico. He was 65 years old. He was creating a massive sculpture for the Denver International Airport. The piece was a 32-foot-tall blue horse made of fiberglass. It featured glowing red neon eyes and a fierce expression. It weighed 9,000 pounds. Jiménez was hoisting a large section of the horse's torso. He was alone in the studio. Suddenly, one of the suspension ropes failed. The massive fiberglass segment swung loose. It acted like a guillotine. It pinned Jiménez against a steel support beam. The sharp edge of the sculpture crushed his leg. The impact severed his femoral artery. Arterial blood pumped out rapidly. He could not free himself from the weight of his own creation. He bled out on the studio floor. Luis Jiménez was pronounced dead shortly after arrival at the hospital. The cause was exsanguination due to arterial severance. The sculpture was later finished and installed. It is now known as the Blue Mustang. New case files are uploaded weekly. Follow the channel to track future episodes. Comment below with other historical accidents you want investigated.